is off. There's a round in the chamber. This is Armed Alabama. Sponsored by McCoy Outdoor Company, Mobile's hometown full-line outdoor sporting products and gear store. An interactive talk show discussing self-defense, product reviews, shooting tips, safety, and more. Your calls, comments, and texts welcome at 343-0106. Now, here are your hosts, retired judge and certified NRA instructor Rusty Johnston and certified NRA law enforcement instructor Adam Strange.
Out here in the country where the city lights don't shine, I live my life the simple way, and you know I'm doing just fine. I fish, I hunt, and I shoot my guns, and I raise a little hell. The things I do, you know I do them well. This is my America, and I'm so proud, and I don't mind. I say it loud. This is my America. God bless America. Land of the free, 'cause of the brave. This is my America.
Welcome to Armed Alabama. Glad you could join us tonight. And that was Buck Allen, local singer-songwriter. He has several songs that we use here on Armed Alabama. Very patriotic, and we appreciate Buck for allowing us to use his songs here on our show. And if you just now started listening to Armed Alabama, which some people have, this is a show about self-defense, firearm and ammo selection, home protection, concealed carry, proper training, range etiquette, and, of course, the law. I'm Adam Strange. I am a NRA law enforcement firearms instructor. And Judge Johnston here, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Judge Rusty Johnston. I am a retired Alabama Circuit Court judge, also an NRA firearms instructor in a couple of different fields, and I was director of the court police for the 13th Judicial Circuit for a number of years, and between the both of us, we teach not only how to shoot, but how to keep yourself out of trouble. In other words, keep yourself from being a victim of crime, how to harden your home, how to, if you get into a scrape in the street, how to win, how to escape, how to survive a gunfight, but it's better not to even get in one. So we teach a unique type of shooting here. And I want to remind everybody, we've got our new website going, and we've got a lot of great prizes if you'll go to it, because most of them are in our house. And if you go to www.armedalabama.com or go to the old site, armedalabama.com, and it will get you there. And you scroll a little bit down, and we're just collecting email addresses for our newsletter. They won't be sold to anybody. I wouldn't know who to sell them to anyway, but I've written down. We won't do that. And we have everything from, which I have one of these, it's a Lazy Susan type rack where you can put, I think it's 12 different long guns in there. We have a lot of good stuff there. And so get on over there and just click there and register for some of those.
Any vacancies left in the training class coming up?
Yeah, we do. That's one thing we're going to talk about tonight.
Okay.
So
because it's close.
Oh, yeah, we have a countdown going. We like to hear by the end of the day, Thursday. So, because it's not fair to the shooting range to, tell them Friday night, hey, we don't need the whole place or whatever. So we've set a deadline of Thursday. I think it's at 5 o'clock. But so that's kind of the way it's going. And you can read all about that by going to the website, www.armedalabama.com. You scroll down and look at the self-defense level 1, and when you hit purchase now, you don't purchase anything at that point. You can it just takes you in there and gives you a detailed of what we do during the class.
And that's this coming Saturday.
This
isn't it?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Now, it is the first day of deer season, and as I pointed out to one commenter, I said, occasionally, I said, what if your rifle misfired and that deer was charging you, and he's a big buck?
That's right.
Would you know how to defend yourself from 5 or 6 feet if he was right on top of you? You probably wouldn't. We could teach you. I said, every year there are dozens of people killed that same way, and the government suppresses that.
It's small doe is one thing, but the big bucks
That's
is
right.
what you got to look
That's
out
right.
for.
And they're not about to tell anybody about that.
Yeah, we got a really good program. If you're interested, or any of your family members interested in self-defense, concealed carry, home defense, this is absolutely the class for you. Like the judge stated earlier, this is a class not only teaches you how to shoot your firearm, teaches you gun safety, but it teaches you to have a winning mindset, to have that confidence, that aggressiveness that you need to be able to defend yourself. But we concentrate on teaching you to be a gunfighter, and that's essentially what it is. If you have to be able to defend yourself and you're carrying your firearm, then you need to be able to have that confidence and that skill level to be able to utilize it to defend yourself or a family member. So by all means, use this opportunity to take this class. As I stated before,
It's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice weather. So, like I stated before, I'm an NRA law enforcement firearms instructor. I have certifications in handgun, shotgun, and patrol rifle, which is basically like an AR platform. And the judge has numerous NRA certifications himself. So don't miss this opportunity to get a very high-level course
And Adam,
for an amazing
one of the
price.
things I go into from one of my certifications, personal defense in the home, is how to harden your home, especially to make a safe room on the cheap. Because everybody immediate instinct is to grab a shotgun and go out and do battle with whoever's coming in. And that is a big mistake. You're better off doing the safe room, like I'll explain to you, which can be just a few $100s really. Getting your family in there, call the police, and then take your rifle, pistol, shotgun, and just aim it at the door. And if they try to batter through, that's when you've got the right to shoot them.
Absolutely. So many times you hear people kind of have a bravado kind of attitude, and that's one thing we kind of shy away against.
Because you don't know who it is.
Absolutely. You don't know who it is. It may be on the other side of that door. You don't know what may be transpiring. So if you can get your family and retreat to a safe room, what have you, you don't have to be Rambo. But absolutely, if you retreat to your safe room and somebody comes through that door, trying to bust it down, and by all means, that's the time that
darn right,
you're definitely lethal force is authorized.
And you got the high ground there.
Yeah, and when lethal force is justified, lethal force is justified.
Absolutely, absolutely. You may have the Mexican mafia, Mexican drug cartel has come to the wrong house, or maybe the right house. I don't know. But you may have 8 guys out there with ARs, and you're in no position to be fighting them off.
Where is the class?
Class is over, and we've
class?
got the map on the website over at Three Brothers, and that at Three Brothers Shooting Range, and that's in Stapleton, basically on Highway 59 south, but really just 5 miles south of Bay Minette in Stapleton, but it's pretty easy to get to. I know that sounds far to a lot of people, but
it's not.
It's highway.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what's
not.
nice. It's
So
40 minutes from anywhere.
You can
in
go to our
Mobile.
website, Armed Alabama, and you can find all about the class. There's a lot of information there. It's a great resource for you to make an informed decision on this really good class. So just can't recommend it enough. If you have any comments or questions, or you may even have a question to us regarding the class, regarding training, or what we feel is best or best methodology, give us a call here at the studio, 251-343-0106. And we forgot to mention, Judge, if you have your phone handy or computer handy, and if you have Facebook, then by all means tune in to our Facebook page, Armed Alabama Radio, FM Talk 106.5, and you can tune in and see us on simulcast. We're simulcasting on Facebook as
I
well
got
as
a classic gun I'm going to show off in a little bit.
Yeah, it really is a beauty. So, by all means, join us on Facebook, and you can message us. A lot of people come and join us there and ask questions and messages on Facebook. So it's really fun. It makes it for a good show and a good evening to watch it on Facebook there. But be sure and give us a call, or you can text to the same number. That's 251-343-0106. And this is Armed Alabama, and we'll have more show when we come right back after this break.
Step up to the firing line. Armed Alabama is back. Questions, comments, and texts at 343-0106.
I like you, Philip. But be assured, bite my hand, and I will put you down. Your division is in charge of native crime. Or would you rather I was in charge of native crime? I don't think you'd like my methods.
All right, Captain Widmark. And I might point out you just heard an ad for Thomas McKee, who is our website designer. So that brings to mind, go on over and look at our Armed Alabama website, www.armedalabama.com. You can pay for your class. Advertisers can even pay their bills there, or you can inquire about advertising. You can do a whole lot there, in addition to signing up for some of the great prizes that we're going to give away. And if you just tuned in, we're on Facebook Live. Go to the Facebook page. It's Armed Alabama Radio, FM Talk 1065. And looks like we got Jim on the line from Mobile. Hey, Jim.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to share an experience that happened to me a couple of years ago just outside of the Dolly Parton Park. It was in one of the hotel parking lots that we were staying at.
Uh-huh.
An individual, without warning, just knocked me down, knocked me up against a vehicle. In the process, he cut me on the left arm, gash about 2 inches long. And I was on my knees, and he was over me trying to keep me from getting up. And I carry a Ruger P-89,
Yep.
which is a pretty heavy weapon, and it was fully loaded. And I pulled my pistol out with the intent of shooting, and I saw an opportunity to catch him right in the jewelry box with an upward motion of my from the holster.
Uh-huh.
And I hit him with everything I had, and it knocked him to his knees. At that point, I knocked the knife out of his hand and rolled him over on his back, and I sat on his chest and put my pistol in his throat at the just below the Adam's apple. And I used my free hand at that point to call the local police department.
Wow.
And when they arrived, they, of course, I pretty much expected that they drew down on me.
Yeah.
And I holstered my weapon, put my hands on my head, and they handcuffed me, of course. And I had quite a bit of blood, and I told the officer that I was bleeding and that I wasn't infectious, but I was a cardiac patient. I had medication that made my blood thin.
Yeah.
So they took their time, and they talked to this individual without cuffing him for 3 or 4 minutes, and I suggested they look at the videotape. And only after they reviewed the videotape did they put him into custody. So I was a little aggravated with that situation, but my question to you is, did I handle that situation correctly, and did I have the right at that point to defend myself with deadly force?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Since you lived through it, I would say you handled it right. Now, if you'd wound up dead, I'd say you should have shot him. But yeah, you
that
did.
option was still there, but
he had a deadly weapon, and it had already attacked you, and he had already cut you, and usually that's the definition of serious physical injury. But I can understand exactly what you did. You did put yourself in more jeopardy doing that, probably. But if you can save a life, that's fine. I'm just amazed because a criminal doesn't usually stay around and wait for the police. They usually run away. And
I sat on his chest with a pistol just below his Adam's apple.
Yeah. Why would you do that if you were the criminal?
Well, I wouldn't, but
why would the police side
with... They saw the gun at that point. When I called him, I told him I was armed and told him I had a guy at gunpoint. And, of course, that didn't bring just one officer. I think there was probably 10 of them there.
Yeah.
And they rolled up 4 at a time. The first wave was four police cars, two at one end of the parking lot, two coming in from the other end.
Did you ever see this guy before he attacked you?
No, I was just staying there. I'm not even from the Tennessee area. I was just staying there, and he just ran up on me and knocked me over. I didn't even have my wallet with me.
Wow.
I had come down from upstairs to go to the car and get another bag that we had left in the car. And I was in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and I had just picked my pistol up and stuck it on my belt, pulled my t-shirt over top of it, and I've been carrying this weapon since 1992, and I've always thought that the one day that I leave it where
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely.
Prime example. You got to carry it all the time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Not just when you're going to go to a bad place, or when you think there may be trouble.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
like a church?
That's a great tale, and I'm glad. But no, you did everything right. I don't know why they were so strange about it, but you did everything right.
Well, usually when.
But if I'd have just rolled over on my back and shot the guy a couple of times, I wouldn't have been in any more or less trouble than I was already in.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But you never know how that's going to affect you mentally.
Well, and I had a guy tell me one time, that the guy that trained me, he said, "Look, when you shoot somebody, it's a life-changing event."
Right.
He said it doesn't matter what the situation is. When you shoot somebody, your life is going to change.
That's right.
I would agree.
And
I've always respected that.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we talk about, Jim, is you don't have to be Rambo, but that moment when you feel that lethal force is justified, lethal force is justified.
And I'd like to add this too. These guys that are walking around talking like Rambo, they have no idea what they're talking about. I was scared beyond belief.
I bet.
Absolutely.
I bet. I got in a fight with a felon one time, me and another guy trying to hold him, and first of all, he had so much adrenaline in him. He was just like a tiger, and I felt like if we let go of a hand, we were going to get knifed because he had committed a robbery. And it was, I tell you, I was sore. I was 30 too. I was sore for a month trying to hold on to him.
Well, I was 55 when this happened, and at the time I was about 270 pounds, and he had both hands on his groin, and when I sat on him, I captured both hands.
Good for you. Good
and,
for you.
He had nothing he could do at that point, and I would have shot him if he had struggled free.
Right. Wow. Well, I'm glad you made it, but that's the stories I like to hear. I mean, I like to hear those kind of stories because I put them away to tell people. There are a lot of people that don't carry around in the chamber, and in that situation, it would have been difficult for you to rack around in the chamber in the middle of that.
Well, I carry with the round in the chamber, and the P89 DC does not have a safety on it, and I like that feature.
Yeah.
Yep.
The holster that I carried in covers the trigger, so it's basically when it's in the holster, it's safe because you can't get to the trigger.
Sure. Your safety, first of all, is your brain. You just got to learn. You don't walk around, you don't point a gun with your finger on the trigger. You index it. And
I have 3 children, ages 9 through 16 now, and all 3 of them have shot my pistol at a range.
Yeah.
And I can come home today before school, take my pistol off and set it on the coffee table, and not one of them will give it a second thought.
See, you've trained them right.
In it.
You have trained them
They've
right.
already handled it. They know exactly what it'll do, and I think that we need more of that.
I do too. The ones who are dangerous are the kids that have never been around guns or who have been terrified by their parents, and then they come to a neighbor's house and they look at it like it's the crown jewel or something.
Yeah.
They can't wait to touch
And they're
it.
curious.
Yeah.
Now, I will put my guns in the safe if we have neighbors over or other people over.
Right.
Because I don't know what their children have been taught, but
I agree with you.
Put everything in the safe at that point.
Yeah, and you don't want them stolen either.
Well, I'm not. Well, I would be upset if somebody stole my weapon and used it to hurt somebody else, but I'm more worried about a child getting hold of it.
Well, that's right. That's right. No question about that. But glad you made it, and we'll put that in that little black book because that's an interesting story.
That.
Yeah, take care.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Jim.
Thank you kindly.
All right.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate the phone call. All right, if you have any comments or questions, you can give us a call here at 251-343-0106, or you can text to that same number, 251-343-0106. And be sure and check us out on Facebook Live, and our Facebook page is Armed Alabama Radio, FM Talk 106.5. And be sure not just to like our page, but to save and follow, and that way each time we post something on our Facebook page or notification or anything else like that, you'll get notified and you can see what it is that we post, because we're very active with our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel, Armed Alabama, and our Twitter. So be sure and check us out.
That web page, because we're starting to put the tip of the week on there, which is different things. One is about, we've been working, editing it a little bit, about like a painting site there that really helps. You see some things like that, some little interesting things that people might like to see, so they can find that. Just explore the new website. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a good resource, and that website is armedalabama.com, so be sure and go check it out. Also, if you're interested in our concealed carry and home defense class this Saturday, you can go to our website, armedalabama.com, and you can sign up for that class, and you can pay online for that class. So it's very easy for you to sign up
and it's not a
get
boot
registered.
Camp where if you've, we'll tell you when we get back. If you're of average physical ability or even a wheelchair, you can compete in the class. We'll be back after the break.
I think we have an issue.
Something's wrong with that sound.
Welcome back to Armed Alabama. We've still got plenty of show left, and we're getting some comments and texts come in.
What you need to bring to the class is listed on the website. And I was mentioning, instead of boot camp, if you're, older, you're sedentary, you got some physical problem, that's not a problem, because that's how people are in real life.
What weapons would be suitable to bring or not?
Well, it's a pistol class.
Okay.
So, it's best to bring what you're comfortable with.
Any pistol or revolver that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't, it'd be better not to go out and buy, a big .45 auto that you've never shot and be totally surprised at the recoil. So just bring what you're comfortable with. But what we go into is the number of magazines, the number of rounds of ammunition, that type thing. So just check it out on the website. And while you're getting ready for the next call, we've got, if anybody's watching on Facebook, I have got a 1940, it's either 2 or 3, I don't have my glasses on, German Luger that was assigned, 43, was assigned to the Waffen SS, and Mr. Strange there is going to check.
It's clear.
It's clear, and as a matter of fact, we can actually, I think it holds open with the magazine butt plate is actually wooden, but when you toggle it back, it keeps it open.
That was made in 43?
Made in 1943.
It's a year younger than me.
Think about that. But did y'all get that? If you look at it good, like with a loop or magnifying glass, you'll see the Nazi eagle and the swastika on it, and you'll see the symbols that it was a Waffen SS pistol. And one of the things I put on our tip of the week, you see that? See the blade there is white. And I'm sure people, oh my God, I can't believe you defaced it. Well, I can scrape that off with my fingernail. But on this steel, it really stands out. So when you're looking through this tiny crack, oh, okay, there's the front side.
Yeah. So if you go to our Facebook page, Armed Alabama, FM Talk 106.5, you can see that the judge is holding up a German Luger. So be sure to go to our Facebook page and check it out for tonight's show and tell.
And this one doesn't, the most expensive ones have, all of these parts, if you can imagine the Germans, all of these parts have serial numbers on them. I mean, it's totally insane. And there are a few of these, as I recall, that do not have matching, there are some of them that were replaced. So that means, you can get a gun like this for $1,200. This isn't a $10,000 one. Those are the ones that all matching numbers, and they're kind of rare. But I'm tempted to send this to one of my people and get that one, reconditioned, because I like to shoot it, and it shoots well. And, I don't put them up in glass cases and just look at them. I like to shoot them. And it shoots well, but, you can see the rust is getting a little deeper into it, and why not?
Well, it's still quite elegant.
Yeah.
Judge, we have a caller on the line. Tom is calling from Atmore. Welcome to Armed Alabama, Tom.
Well, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
I heard the last call you had about the gentleman that said that, police held him at gunpoint and everything. As a 911 dispatcher, there's a lot of steps that go through there, and of course, officer safety has got to be, very prominent in that too. So, what he told the dispatcher, what the dispatcher actually understood him saying.
We were just talking about that at the break.
Yeah.
Yep, and what the dispatcher sends out to the officer, there could be a lot of steps there that did or did not get actually mentioned.
Right.
So, officer safety, the call may have gone out. There's a man holding another man at gunpoint.
Right.
Or that's all they heard. So it's
not
in those situations.
Yeah, it's not just officer safety too, Tom. I mean, the officers are showing up on the scene. They don't know exactly what has transpired, so it's best to handcuff both parties until it is established what had transpired.
I sure would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and you also have that time dilation when you have all that adrenaline in you. 5-10 minutes seems like an hour.
That's right.
Why am I still being held here? And it may have only been 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
So it's hard to tell. But, yeah, we were talking about that. Ideally, you'd want to call up and say, 911, I'm so-and-so, give your name. I was attacked by a man with a knife. I have a concealed carry permit. I did not shoot him, but I'm holding him here because he still has a knife. I have a red shirt on. I'm on the heavy side. Would you send help immediately because, I'm concerned that he might be fighting to get away? But like you say, you don't know what was said, and you don't know, even if you said it right, did they communicate it correctly?
Well, and you said that very calmly to me. If you're sitting on somebody who just attacked you, you're not going to be calm.
That's right. I thought that out and said it because I'm sitting here in comfortable conditions, not in a dark parking lot and been knifed.
Well, that's the thing too that we talk about in our concealed carry home defense class is what to say to that dispatcher. Yeah, you may not remember everything, but at least now you try to get your mind wrapped around it. That communication, what you're going to communicate. Get your mind wrapped around it now and not at the moment when it transpires. And so hopefully you can communicate, mainly what you want. You may not get everything there. And of course it may be excited communication or excited utterance, but you still can be able to maybe get the point across that you were the one attacked.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be your best witness or your worst witness, depending on what you say.
Hey, Judge, can I ask our caller
Yeah,
something?
sure. Go ahead.
Are you currently with 911?
I am currently with a local police department here. We do police, fire, EMS.
Oh, wow. That's
the couple of times that I've called 911 in my life, and one was a burning bush right outside of a restaurant.
A burning bush.
A burning bush, a biblical reference.
Did the Lord speak to you?
But a tour bus had backed up right to it, and the driver didn't know there was a bush on fire right behind his bus. And, of course, everybody in the restaurants moved way over to the other side. And I remember I'm talking to the 911 lady, and she keeps asking me these dumb questions. And I said, yeah, there's a bush. Just send somebody out here, But those questions are really necessary, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. There's a certain set of questions that you have to ask, so number one, what to send, and two, what they should expect when they get there.
And especially when somebody's on a cell phone, too. It's one thing when everybody had landlines, where they were calling from and all. And
if you ask a repeat question, you may get a little more information.
Mm-hmm. Well, even like a structure fire of a house, one of the questions we ask are there any power lines down in the area?
Yeah.
Because we don't want a fire truck running in there to a live power line.
And is the house occupied, or is it a vacant house?
Exactly.
Yeah, those things.
Are there injuries? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, Yeah, you keep asking questions, and what people don't realize is you've already dispatched
Right.
somebody.
You're not waiting to the answer
Right.
to the question.
That's right.
Sometimes I guess you need to keep them on the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it does seem like forever. I've listened to those 911. The woman talking to the 911 operator as she's hiding, and murderers looking for her in the house, and it seems forever. And you look at the tape, and 4 minutes have gone by before the police get there, and so which is fast. But when you're listening, it seems like they'll never get there.
Well, when somebody's beating on your door to get in,
Yeah.
that 4 minutes is hours.
Yeah, that's right. So no question about it. But well, you're in a good place to be. I'll tell you that. I'm glad you're up there. That's a beautiful part of the state.
Yeah, I moved down from the north, and I said I found my piece of paradise right here.
Oh yeah, no question about it. I would name some
thank you for
names
taking
that
my
you would
call.
know up there, but I better not do that.
All right, thank you so much, Tom, for your phone
Appreciate
call.
that.
Thank you for listening to us here at Armed Alabama.
And for what you do.
Absolutely.
All right, Judge, we got a few texts come in. One of the texts we have on our text line, and that's 251-343-0106. You can text or call to that number. One of the texts that we have, Judge, it says, do you think the NRA will give up bump stocks or slide fires or some type of concession to the gun grabbers?
I would say yes, but the bill in its current form
Doesn't.
Yeah, they don't have that opportunity. But I think if push came to shove and they had the opportunity to throw away bump fire stocks and to get the gun grabbers away, I think they'd compromise because, they relegate that to, well, those are kind of the nuts that use those. And, it's not really that important.
And a small minority.
And it's a principle. It's like, the people that have Lugers from World War II, we don't need to protect those. It doesn't affect many people.
No, it wouldn't affect many people, and you would spend a lot of money and resources to try to hedge against that when, like you said, there's just very few people that would have them. However, I don't know if they necessarily would make that concession, but that can be debated.
Yeah. Well, I hope not.
I think they would maybe, if just to throw a bone, perhaps to save something else, like you said, maybe just to stave off the gun grabbers.
Yeah, let's say.
But the thing about it is,
assault weapons ban.
At what point do you draw the line in the sand
and say we're not moved? This is it. No further.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure, and it should have been drawn somewhere. I kind of thought we were going the other way, but I don't guess we are.
Yeah, because I was getting really excited about the Hearing Protection Act that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and that should have no relation to what happened.
None.
Absolutely none.
None. All right, we'll be back after this break with more Armed Alabama.
Step up to the firing line. Armed Alabama is back. Questions, comments, and texts at 343-0106.
I own this establishment. Wife really for $1,000. You better clear out of there. Yes, sir. Just hold it right there. Hold it! You just shot an unarmed man. Well, he should have armed himself. He's going to decorate his saloon with my friend.
LD, just hang on a second. We got just about a minute of business to do, and I should have mentioned when we're talking about the Luger that, of course, it shoots 9mm. Some shoot some others, but generally this one shoots 9mm Luger, 9mm Parabellum, which you can get at McCoy Outdoors. Hunting season, deer hunting season is in a week, so if you need anything, any ammunition, any clothes, any boots, you can get all of that down at McCoy's, and you won't be faced with all that mess at the on Schillinger's Road.
Yeah, and the thing about McCoy's is not only can you get the item that you're in need of, but you also get the information and the wealth of knowledge that those individuals have versus another store.
They're all hunters.
Yep.
They're all shooters. Or if you're into, as they say, primitive weapons, bow and arrows and stuff, you got them down there, and they know what they're talking about.
Right, and they have a gunsmith on staff.
Yep.
And they have a bow expert on staff, so
never fails. Last minute, you got a problem with your gun, so you can see them down there, and they're on Spring Hill Avenue, and they're just west of where the interstate I-65 passes over in the Spring Hill Avenue Shopping Center, and the old K&B, and they're open 8 to 5 Monday through Saturday. So stop by and say hello.
And we appreciate their sponsorship as well as our other sponsors, and that's Dr. Justin Foster at Foster's Chiropractic of Tillman's Corner, Ace Hardware Stores, Spring Hill, Moffett, and Creola locations, Mike Ward's Liberty Safes, Namus Catering, Law Office of Matt Green, Hansing Heating and Air.
You better get that tuned up because, one of these days there'll be a front coming through here.
And it's going to be cold.
Going to 25, and everybody go, oh, my heat doesn't work.
Yeah.
So better check that out right now.
All right, we have a caller on the line. It's LD, the Mad Truckers, calling from Mobile. Welcome to Armed Alabama.
Great show as usual.
Thank you. Appreciate you tuning in and listening to us.
I don't believe in ever saying never because never is not a very good word, but I bought 2 M4s when they first came out when Walmart started selling them, and they quickly stopped selling them. But what am I going to do when the federal government knocks on my door and says, we know you have 2 M4s, give them up? Listen.
You're about 6 months late because I sold those. That's what you say. Seriously, they don't have any right to ask that question, so I don't have any. Well, I'll keep it.
I guess we lost LD.
I don't have any obligation to tell them the truth, and based on that, no judge is going to give them a search warrant. I might go bury them in the backyard before they got back, though. They shouldn't. Seriously, the way the system is set up, they're not supposed to. When you call in, they're not supposed to keep a permanent record of that. But do we trust them? Heck no.
I don't trust.
I don't trust them at all.
I don't trust Walmart.
Could you say I sold it to a homeless guy in the parking lot?
Yeah. See, I'll see if I can find his address, but I'm not under any obligation to keep his address.
Yeah. Well, Walmart actually takes your picture, even if you're just buying ammunition. They take your picture.
That's why I would not have anything to do with Walmart. They entered an agreement with Bloomberg to do all that, where they treat you like a criminal there. And why do all that? I mean, it's not like they're giving stuff away. So take them off your list. Go to somebody like McCoy's that appreciates your business. If you don't like them, they're inconvenient. Go to some other local gun store that appreciates your business and doesn't treat you like a criminal.
And has some clerks who know what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
The question is, Judge, we got a question here on the text line. Is there a place to learn tactical urban training, active shooter training here in Mobile? And the answer is yes, and we provide that. It's exactly the items that we cover within our class. Our class is easy to learn, but it's also very aggressive in the fact
I was putting in the slide today about what to do if you're involved in an active shooter situation. I said not being the shooter, if you're a victim.
Right.
Because I've got a couple of good books on that. And, of course, a lot of it depends on, do you have a family with you or not? A number of scenarios, but it'll just get you started.
Yeah, well, that's a decision tree that you're referring to.
If I do this, do I do that?
Yep.
But it'll get you started because you need to think about these things before they happen. As to the urban, that's what we do because that's where we live and that's where we expect to survive in an urban environment.
Absolutely. So if you're interested in our class that we're going to be hosting this Saturday, you can go to our website, armedalabama.com, and you can go to classes there and you can read all about the class, what's required with that class, and you can sign up for that class. So you can pay online. You can do everything that you need to do online there. But if you still have questions regarding the class, you can email me, Adam@armedalabama.com, and I'll be glad to answer.
Our emails are working.
Yep.
So we're back in business. This was a kind of big jump transferring over the new website.
Right.
But that's working now.
And the class is extremely reasonable. It's $125, and for whole days training with myself, NRA law enforcement firearms instructor, and of course with a retired judge who's going to be able to inform you what your rights are, inform you what exactly is the law, and put it in layman's terms where it's easy to understand, and it helps you make the decisions that you need in relation to your own personal defense needs within your home and with outside the home, in your vehicle, wherever you may be, because any place is relevant. Any place may
Absolutely.
be the time that you have to use your firearm to defend yourself or your family. Don't just carry it, as the judge stated earlier, don't just carry it when you think you're going to a bad place, but carry it all the time.
Or when you expect trouble. Wouldn't that be great to know that?
Well, it's like those people that went to church in Texas. They didn't expect to have trouble that morning.
That's when it's going to hit
where 26 people were shot and killed. So,
and I guarantee you, if one person had started firing at him, like Charles Van Wyck down in South Africa, one person started firing at him, he would have run.
Well, that's exactly what happened. One person did. The neighbor there came and opened fired on him, and he threw down his firearm.
Magazine as he was running.
Yep.
And he fired, and the guy took off.
Threw down his gun and fled off in his vehicle. With that said, if you are a pastor or a church staff or anything else like that, if you would bring a letterhead, if you want to attend our class, and bring your church letterhead to show that you are on staff at your church, then you receive a $10 gift, $10 off of the class. So you will give you a discount there if you can provide that letterhead showing that you are a church on the church staff.
All right. Well, it looks like we're at the end of our show. We will see everyone or listen to everyone next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And go to the website, sign up for because we got some great prizes. The main prize is worth $200, so it's certainly worth signing up for. And we'll see you next week on